if you're trying to figure out where you want to move along the Emerald Coast and Santa Rosa Beach is on your list of places to consider, stick around. This is the video for you. We're going to go over the top 5 reasons why I moved to Santa Rosa Beach. So a little bit of backstory, and this is going to pertain to both of us since we were both in the military and you tend to move around very, very frequently when you're in the military. I just couldn't get that out of my system. So I have a tendency to move literally every 2 years because that's what I did in the Army. You move every 2 years, and I just haven't been able to stop. Can't stop, won't stop, move every 2 years.
The Army's motto.
That's the Army motto. Can't stop, won't stop. But it worked out really well because I was able to purchase a bunch of houses. I made a bunch of money off of those houses. So it was really good. But with that being said, most recently I moved to Santa Rosa Beach. And funny story, I think I'm actually going to keep living here. I really like it. So I'm really excited about this video because I think I'm going to live here for a decade.
Yeah, follow on in 2 years for AJ's next moving video. Yeah, so I moved around a lot. Even as a kid, it was kind of like that. So that's no different for me, although I don't move quite as often. But that's just mainly because I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to moving. But one of the things that I do look for is, what I believe the property value would be in the future. So I definitely try to make sure that I'm not buying the most expensive house on the block, the one that's fully upgraded to the teeth or anything. Although I know a lot of people do that. It's just not on my purchasing, importance. So I wanted to make sure that I had that wiggle room, that I wasn't buying the one that was very aggressively overpriced and that I could get a halfway decent deal on it. Now, that doesn't always mean that I paid far less than the list price, but in comparison to what some of the other properties were, I generally tend to buy things that are priced well.
Yeah, whenever you're purchasing with the intent of selling again in 2 years or maybe a little bit longer, definitely one of the biggest considerations was, what is this neighborhood going to look like in a couple of years? Can I potentially rent this property out later on, and will it be enough to cover the mortgage? Or, if I just want to move and use the funds from this property to purchase another property, what's that equity going to look like? I want to at least make sure that that property is going to gain value and not necessarily either sit still and not even match inflation or potentially even go down. And what kind of projects does the property itself need in order to get it to a higher state of value?
Yeah, another thing that I really like to look for too is what is the future rental capability for that property if I have to rent it out. So a lot of people obviously plan on selling their home whenever they're done with it. But for me, I wanted to build a rental portfolio. So in the first few homes that I purchased, that's exactly what I did, was look at what the rental numbers were in comparison to the mortgage that I'd be paying. And then how does that stack up with the rest of the area or city that I'm looking to live in?
And for Santa Rosa Beach, this was a great opportunity to not only step into a property that already had value to it or already had equity in it, but it was also going to continue to grow exponentially because land here is a finite thing. And in this area, you've got everything all the way around it. You've got 30A, Miramar Beach, Panama City Beach, and you just have this little kind of strip of area that still has plenty to be built out, but it's a finite amount. So while these other areas are continuing to build northward, it just means that all of that value is going to increase in the Santa Rosa Beach area. And also, there aren't any short-term rental restrictions in a lot of those developments, including my own. So really great future rental projections as well.
Hey, before we jump into the rest of these, I do want to thank all of our returning subscribers. If you guys have seen us before, you're returning back, we thank you. And of course, if you are brand new, you don't have to be brand new anymore. You can be a returning subscriber too by simply hitting the subscribe button and clicking that little bell so that you'll be notified absolutely every single time we do a new video.
Andrew and I are both realtors right here on the Emerald Coast, and we will be absolutely ecstatic to work with any of you guys, giving us a call, text, email, whatever the case may be. We're going to throw all of our contact information up here on the screen for you. For those of you that have already reached out, we love it. Seriously, I know you guys hear it from us every time you call, and we're just like, yes! We mean it. So if you want to get that same reaction, go ahead and give us a call. Of course, you'll probably speak to our administrative assistant first, but then you will get directly to us, and we will be so happy to hear from you. The second reason why I moved to Santa Rosa Beach was because I found an amazing new build property. I didn't want to deal with any projects. I didn't want to deal with a giant backyard. Like, I'm just a single female with a kid and some dogs, and I don't have time for all of that stuff. So I found an amazing new build. I don't have to worry about anything.
Now, new builds have an inherent advantage because because, yes, generally you don't need to do anything to them, unless, of course, there are issues or things you want to change, which can happen on any build from time to time. For the most part, people can live in them for several, in fact, multiple years before they need to really do anything. And another great advantage, too, is that a lot of builders give incentives for you to purchase their properties. This can happen for one of many reasons. Sometimes it's just that they're low on their sales for the quarter because they have shareholders that they have to appease. And sometimes it's a heavy buyer's market, so they want to encourage more people to come to their build so they can keep their business going.
At the specific time that I was looking, they were offering some amazing incentives. I got like $50,000 off the purchase price. I got $20,000 towards my closing costs. I got 1.5% interest rate reduction. It wasn't a reduction, it's what they were offering by standard, but that was less than what everyone else on the regular market had. The insurance was significantly cheaper because they also own the insurance company. It was just incredible. And I was still able to do an inspection, as we highly recommend, even on new builds. It's always important to do an inspection because people are human. You know, these builders, they build houses all the time. They hire the same contractors. Maybe somebody has a bad day and they just forget something. You know, it's never with malicious intent. It's just kind of a hedge against human error. So you always want to get that inspection done, and then you'll provide the blue tape walkthrough. Superintendent will knock everything out. Anything that isn't completed prior to closing will go on a special list that survives the closing, and then it gets done after the fact.
And of course, as we mentioned a moment ago, if you have any questions on new builds specifically, or of course anything in our area, just go ahead and give us a call, text, email, carrier pigeon, whatever you want.
Letter taped to a football. Make sure you throw it to him, though. I won't catch it.
I probably won't.
All right, so the third reason that I purchased in Santa Rosa Beach is...
Did you just do three with these three?
Yeah. How else would I do it?
Like this?
No. What?
What are you?
You weirdo!
Wow.
But anyways, the third reason that I purchased in Santa Rosa Beach is actually kind of one of your first criteria when choosing a property. It was the proximity to where I love to work. So we all know that Santa Rosa Beach is just, well, it incorporates quite a bit of 30A, but it's also, you know, just north of 30A. So it's really easy for me to get to work. And, you know, it's really just cool to be out on 38 anyways.
And it's really easy for you to show houses on 30A.
Also, that's
it's like 3 shameless plugs in like 30 seconds.
Awesome.
I don't think it's shameless anymore. I think it's just shame.
Just shameful. If you guys are like, what's a 30A? Where's a 30A? What is this? It's the most amazing. I'm going to say it's the best area in our area. It's this like 20-mile stretch of the most beautiful houses and the most beautiful beach and great restaurants and everything. If you guys have never heard of 30A, we'll put a link over here to some of those videos. But don't go watch them right now. Save it for later because we've got way more content coming up in this video.
Proximity is always important whenever you're looking for a neighborhood that you want to live in, whether it's to the office or to hospitals or schools or whatever is important to you. So keep that stuff in mind. Here in our area, we actually see it all the time, people electing to move to less expensive places to live and hoping that commute's going to be fine. And then once they start doing it, they're not as happy about this. This is namely for the people, you know, up in Crestview, Freeport, those areas that are going to be heading southward to some of the bigger named cities in our area. Sometimes they regret it because our traffic here on occasion can get kind of bad. I mean, not bad for like a big city, but bad for us where a 20-minute drive turns into a 40-minute. And we just don't like that here in Florida.
Speaking of proximity to stuff, that was actually my fourth reason. Anything weird? Can I do it this way? Is that okay? All right. So proximity to stuff. So as Andrew said, there are, you know, hospitals and dining and everything that you could possibly need right here in Santa Rosa Beach. It's very easy to access everything, and you're not like right in the mix of everything. So you've got some of my favorite restaurants actually are super close by. So you've got Louie right there off of 98, and then you've got Red Bar over there in Creighton Beach, and then you've got Bric-a-Brac over in Destin, and they're all owned by the same family, and they're all amazing. I have to give them a shout out because I just love these places, and they've all got very different personalities. So try them all. If you've only tried one, try them all. If you haven't tried any of them, try them all, and then let me know how you like them. You can come back to this video and comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite.
And speaking of being close to the action, you're also right there next to Panama City Beach, so you're not having to do a long trek to get to a more populated center with more food options you'll probably get to enjoy while you're living there. for the next 2 years before you move again.
Panama City Beach is really fun to be next to because you've got Pier Park, and then they have some really great events.
2 notable events that Panama City Beach has is the Jeep Jam, which is a favorite of mine because it's a whole bunch of Jeeps getting together out on the beach, which is always good. And then, of course, you got Thunder Beach, which is basically a motorcycle version of that.
It's
way
awesome.
dirtier.
It's super awesome. The motorcycles all get over there. It's this huge rally, and there's this big concert. It lasts a couple of days. And then for the Jeep Jam, that one's really awesome too because they have these like obstacle courses for the Jeeps to do. I might have some video that we can throw up of that. And the 5th, is this okay? Do I 5th? 5? 5. The 5th reason that I chose to move to Santa Rosa. Magic hands. The 5th and final reason, not really the final reason, but just the top 5th reason that I chose to move to Santa Rosa Beach was because of all the parks. So if you've got small children or maybe like middle-aged children, is that a thing? Middle school-aged children?
I think middle-aged children is a thing if you're in your 70s.
There are so many like parks and just lots of different activities for the kids to do. We've got, I don't know, I think if you went to a different park every single day, it would take you weeks to get to all of them. Just on the north side of 98 is little like Paget Park, and then on the south side you've got the Helen McCrae Park. I'll have to double check it. It's Helen something Park. And then down along 30A, you've got a ton of little pocket parks, and then all these green spaces both on the north and south side. There are just so many different areas you can go and visit, let the kids mingle with other kids, let them play around, get super dirty. Oh my gosh. I took Sage over to Paget Park the other day, and there was mud. This was a mistake.
Yeah, I can already see that.
Yeah, especially under the swings, which was mulch, so you wouldn't think it would be that bad, but it was like a solid 6 inches of water standing there under the swings. She didn't want to play with the swings. No, she was in the water. So anyways, bring towels and maybe a change of clothes, but there are plenty of parks and playgrounds, and they will have a great time, and then you can clean it up afterwards and not have the greatest of times, but at least they will sleep well that night.
And of course, you've got all the things at Point Washington State Park. So you've got Jeep trails and bike trails and even hiking trails all throughout. It's absolutely beautiful out there. It is Florida after all, so it's not like hilly and crazy. It's a very easy kind of hike to do, or of course, an even easier Jeep ride.
So that you can get your kids and your Jeep muddy. And I know that I didn't put, a 6th thing on here, but there was a bonus to moving to Santa Rosa Beach. A bonus.
I love bonuses.
So I homeschool my daughter, and I didn't realize it. I knew that there was like a homeschooling presence, like a homeschooling community in the area, but I had no idea how big it was. So there's actually a huge homeschooling presence over here in Santa Rosa Beach that is just phenomenal. I mean, I went, I just moved, so I had to get a brand new gym membership, and I'd never been to this gym before, and I made a friend right off the bat, and turns out she's a homeschooling mom as well. Never would I have had that happen before. It's just not that really. Maybe it's becoming more popular than I realized, but if you're like me and you homeschool, then Santa Rosa Beach is another really, really phenomenal area. If you have any questions about where to consider moving in the area if you are a homeschooling parent, maybe Santa Rosa Beach isn't the right one, go ahead and give us a call. We'll put all our contact information up on the screen for you. Again, we'll let you know which areas we have seen have the highest potential for meeting fellow homeschoolers.
And if you have made it this far, then please go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps us spread the word about this amazing area. If you guys have any questions, like she said, give us a call, and I guess we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.